Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be another Canadian Soldier Reacts video, and today we're going to continue looking at the Gurkhas, one of Britain's elite fighting forces. I've been looking through a lot of Gurkha stuff recently, and everything that I've been seeing has been with a real civvy bent on it, and they're trying to look through the eyes of the recruits, and they're showing a lot of the civilian stuff and a lot of the things that happen on that side. And that's not really where I want to focus my attention on. I mean, if you guys are interested in that sort of thing, let me know, and I'll start looking at it. But really, I wanted to showcase more of the work that they do and the things that they have to go through. So I found one. This is Gurkha's Trial, a potential new element of the combat infantryman's course. So let's take a look.
Now they must put it together.
Come down, yeah? Sword and rifle. You come here. Yeah.
So I think this is their final exercise.
Okay, look at me.
If I'm understanding this correctly.
Look at me. Right-handed or left-handed? Right-handed.
So that's range
Okay,
safety
stand up.
staff or the
that's
umpire.
On-set target, you will be throwing the grenade. Any questions?
No.
Right, okay. Once the grenade goes off, if it's a good throw, then you need to put a couple of thrust onto the figure 12 target on the right. Any questions?
No.
No? Right,
Oh,
okay.
so this is tough. So I'm hoping this is not the first time he's thrown a grenade. I'm assuming it's not the first time he's thrown a grenade, but most people have muscle memory for a baseball. This is nothing like a baseball. It's very different. I've seen so many guys screw this up.
Oh, grenade ready.
Osho acknowledge grenade now through all.
I'm gonna try to catch where it lands here.
Okay. Grenade throw. Down.
I didn't catch it. It looked pretty close. Yeah, it was. He was a little short, I think. Oh, maybe not. No, actually, that was a pretty good throw.
Whilst one platoon conduct their first ever live firing attack across the vast training area, 3 platoon are preparing for a wet gap crossing.
The critical thing is, whenever you cross the obstacle, you are most vulnerable at the time, yeah?
The combat infantryman's training course is reviewed and updated every 3 years, and amidst fears wet gap crossing skills were fading away, they're now looking to introduce them.
They don't have the cam on their eyes or their
Commanding
necks.
Major Rajesh Gurung has volunteered Gurkha Company to trial it.
Okay, that's strange.
This is my first experience in my lifetime crossing a river. So I think it is going to be a fun. Yeah.
You're looking forward to it?
Yeah.
Bit cold?
Yeah, I don't know the temperature of water, but I think it's quite cold. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Whenever
we've got to get better at military people doing these things, because the civvies always look at the wrong things, and most everything that's put out by the actual forces propaganda machines, they're really a little too rah-rah sis boom bah sometimes. You need something that's more from the angle of the actual troops, what the troops care about.
you are crossing a river, the main thing is you always have to look 360.
Oh, he's got his
Make
crew
sure
free.
that the enemies are not there. They have to be very tactically sound. Whenever they are into the water, make sure that there isn't any noise coming out from the your body and dripping water. That is also the key thing because the sound can travel up to miles while you are crossing the river.
It can.
by chance if our weapon get submerged inside
In
the
fact-
water, we just unload the.
Little known fact to civvies is sound actually travels much further over water, so you got to be very careful.
Weapon, dry out all the water quickly as soon as possible with with dry clothes, and we just oil up the working parts of the weapon so it doesn't get damaged.
Yeah, if
Because
you can
it
do
doesn't
that.
operate, there is no purpose of going to the war. So the main purpose is to keep our weapon safe and ourselves dry and safe.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the luxury to do that, that's great. But if you're on exercise and you're having to advance to a position, you're about to go into a section attack, you're not going to be doing that.
Remember your first river crossing?
Yes, I do remember when I was in Brunei. I was a first man to cross the river, as I was good on swimming. So they put me, okay, young man, let's go and do the river crossing. I had that feeling there that there are some crocodiles and anacondas on the river, inside the river. But I crossed the river
They wear their
with lots
cap
of
edge
courage.
slightly further
least they
back
shouldn't
than
have to
us.
worry
There's
about
more like over
crocodiles
the
in
temple where
No,
we had
never
ours.
had.
Yeah, they're just back to the back of the eye. We were right over top of the eye.
Back out on the range, one platoon face their next challenge.
If you come and see that is the OHF position. So OHF, obviously overhead firing protection. So whilst the platoon are advancing at the front, if you see there, the OHF will provide the obviously overhead fire protection. So that will suppress the enemy position so that they
We
can
call it
advance
OHP, but
at the front
same thing.
simultaneously. No. So the rounds are going just above the head, so which is 3.25 meter from the ground level.
Is that really quite...
Yeah, we did similar exercises actually where they would fire over top of us. The first time I did it was before we went to Croatia, I think. And they did it more so that we would understand what the sound actually sounded like. And it was a training exercise to try to help us understand and figure out what direction the shots were coming from.
close to the head? So
Yeah, that is quite close. So the reason why we do this is obviously when they deploy in the operations. So it is to create that realistic scenario that they are under the fire as well.
Yeah, and you want to get them used to it, right? Because you do not want people panicking when they're actually in the real thing and people are firing at them.
Support is there to provide just side by side.
Yes, ma'am, it's actually really surprising because we have only played with our individual weapon and listening to the machine gun, it's actually really gives a thrill and actually gives us.
I get that.
A
I remember that.
someone is covering us and watching over us. Yeah.
10 Alpha.
Sergeant Santosh Gole has an important job. As the battle simulation sergeant, he's responsible for making the exercise feel real.
We call that umpires or
you require a little bit of
or even range safety staff.
You need to mold and you need to cut, you need to measure all that safety fuse as well. I have to give the motor not all the bang in the different timing, so I have to cut that safety fuse as its specific timing. I'm trying.
I wonder.
To
So
as much
in
as
Canada, for these kinds of situations, we use we use flashbangs, which really looks like a short stick of dynamite. There's a cap on it. You pull the cap off, and then you strike it like a match and toss it. That'll give you a bang like a grenade. It's also good for room clearing because the flash and the bang is very disorienting. But the other thing that we use is called RD sims or artillery simulators. It's a white tube, probably twice the size, maybe even larger than twice the size of the flashbang, and there's a little kind of a string on the side that you pull with a cap, and you pull it, and that starts a fuse. Then you toss that, and you actually hear a whistling sound for about 4 or 5 seconds before it explodes, and that's meant to simulate incoming artillery or mortar fire.
it's realistic, so when they hear it, it might be their first bang during this live firing, so they might be very excited.
So what you just saw there, though, is kind of pretty important. If there's any civilians that are watching this, I know all the Army guys will know what I'm about to say already, but you just saw a grenade go off. It does not look anything like you ever see in the movies. You notice there was no kind of a fireball at all. If you've got a really high-speed camera, you can see that there is some fire that comes out of it, but it's extremely short-lived, as this is a high explosive. I don't know, just something that bugs me in the movies, I guess.
Today I've said 5, so they were exploded simultaneously, bang, 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 bang. This is the device where you actually fire from. So this is called the strike, and it has got the back to pack over here, and it has got the
So that's
four
cool.
circuit. This is very important device that, as being the DSO, that is a demolition safety officer, I must carry wherever I go. So this is
So he can set up
my baby.
ring mains, basically.
Back at the wet
That's
gap
very cool.
crossing, all recruits have made it across and are gradually drying out.
Good.
At first, I
Gradually
was
is the
really
word.
nervous because the weather was already cold, and so getting wet was not probably a good idea for me. But
For anyone.
When I jumped into the river, my excitement was high, so I didn't feel any cold, and now I'm not feeling any cold because still feeling warmer and can do it once more.
Yeah,
We don't
he's
know
cold
what's
as
inside
hell.
the
He just
water.
doesn't want anyone to know.
And what's the depth of the water? So it was quite nervous for both of us to cross the river for the first time in this, with all these gears and weapon, all this load. We are really proud of ourselves. Today I learned how to overcome the fear, seeing all those numbers and my section commanders.
Yeah, this is very similar to
crossing the
battle school
rivers.
training.
They really
They're
help
learning
us,
almost all the same stuff as we did.
cross the rivers.
You are given a drill, make sure you are to apply that.
For these young recruits, the journey's almost over. After 8 months in the UK, all that now stands between them and their promotion to full Gurkha soldiers
Well, then again,
is the final exercise
that's about right.
in just a few weeks' time.
It was about 8 months. Let's stop that. Yeah, it was about 8 months for me between basic training, battle school, until I got to battalion. And then I was in battalion like a week, and they sent me on my reconnaissance patrolman's course. So for my first year in the Army, I was on training the entire time. I think everyone in my intake was. So yeah, pretty cool. The Gurkhas, I mean, still, the more you learn about a group, and the more you see they're kind of just like you, the more familiar you become with them. But I've still got a ton of respect for the Gurkhas, especially knowing that they come from such poor backgrounds and such quite honestly, a terrible state of affairs before they join the British forces, and how life-changing it actually is. Wow. I've had some people in the comments telling me exactly why it's so life-changing for both them and their families, which is absolutely incredible to me, and kind of disheartening that there's places in the world where that's still such a problem. But that said, tons and tons of respect for these guys. Yeah, really, really good force. I'm kind of fanboying here. I know I sound weird. Anyway, listen, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see more content from me, please subscribe down below. It helps me, and it makes sure that you don't ever miss any of my content. I love the comments that are coming in, both good and bad. Because, hey, listen, I don't always get everything right too, right? So love to know, and the suggestions for videos too. They've been fantastic. Keep them coming. I want to do more of what you guys want to see. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you on the next one.